Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Morales. I'm a club leader with Latinitas. Thank you so much for joining me today for this online lesson. Today we're going to be learning about the Chinese Zodiac and its rich history and culture. Then I'm going to show you how to make your own Chinese fan, which you can decorate with a Chinese Zodiac calendar or your own personal Zodiac sign. Let's get started. Here's what you're going to need today. So you're going to need paper plates. You don't have to use paper plates, you can also just use construction paper and cut it out to the shape. You're going to need scissors, as well as popsicle sticks, or if you don't have these, you could just find any sticks in your yard and those would work just as well. Glue and tape, and you're also going to need things to decorate. I have paint and markers, but you can use crayons, colored pencils, anything you have around your house would work. The Chinese zodiac is a system designed to map out the years based on the Chinese lunar calendar. It has 12 different sections. Each section is assigned an animal, and the cycle takes 12 years to complete. The story behind the Chinese zodiac dates back thousands of years. According to the folklore, a long time ago, Buddha called on all the animals of the earth, but only 12 came to him. As a reward, he assigned each of them a spot on the zodiac calendar, promising that any children born in their year would attribute their personality and skills. In order to decide who would come first on the calendar, the animals were to have a race. They would receive their spots on the calendar in the order that they crossed the river and reached the finish line. The strong, hard-working ox was in the lead, but the clever rat jumped on the ox's back and hitched a ride, without the ox ever noticing him. Right before they reached the finish line, the rat jumped off the ox's back and crossed the line before him, winning first place. The ox then crossed and secured the second spot on the calendar. The tiger, fast and competitive, won third place. And so on and so forth, all of the animals crossed the finish line at their own pace, with the happy and carefree pig coming in last. Each animal in this story has their own set of characteristics. For example, if you're born in the year of the rat, you're believed to be charming, picky, ambitious, and clever. You're also adventurous and deep-thinking. If you're born in the year of the ox, you're patient, hardworking, and dependable. You are trustworthy and like to follow the rules. If you're born in the year of the tiger, you are powerful, stubborn, and courageous. You can sometimes be rebellious, but you're also very protective and sympathetic. We're focusing on these three animals because many of you were born on one of those years: 2008, 2009, or 2010. So why are we learning about the Chinese zodiac? We've talked in the past about the importance of cultural appreciation and the importance of having respect for other people's experiences. Have you ever been in a situation where a sibling, friend, or classmate accused you of doing something that you didn't do? How did that make you feel? What were some of the consequences that you faced because of that accusation? A lot of times, entire groups of people are accused of causing damage based on what they look like or where they're from. It isn't fair for those people to be punished for something that they did not do. For example, amidst the current coronavirus pandemic, a lot of people in America of Chinese or East Asian heritage are receiving backlash because of the stigma surrounding the virus. This, of course, isn't right, and we want to help change that narrative by actively seeking truthful information and by encouraging others to appreciate their culture instead of pointing fingers. Again, this virus did not happen because of Chinese people. It simply originated in China, the same way it could have originated in any other part of the world. As we go through this activity, I want you to keep this question in mind. What are some things that we as young girls can do to help fight for the equal treatment of all cultures? This can be on a smaller scale within your circle of friends or your community, or it can be on a larger scale, thinking of how you can influence more people. Okay, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to grab your paper plate. So we're going to cut this in half. You don't have to measure it, you can just kind of eyeball it. Find the center and cut a straight line all the way down. And again, if you don't have paper plates, you can just use construction paper. You just have to cut it into a half circle shape because this is going to be the shape of our fan. So as you can see, it looks like that, and this is going to be perfect for fanning yourself. So the next thing that we have to do is decorate, because we have to decorate before we glue on our sticks. So I'm going to show you how to make the zodiac calendar. So we're going to go ahead and kind of fold it in half. Don't press down too much on the crease. Just sort of pinch it a little bit there at the end so that you know what the halfway point is. Turn it around and you can see that there's a small crease there at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil and make a dot right about there. Okay, so now I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to draw a line. And I know it's kind of hard because the shape is a little bit weird, but just try your best to line up the ruler with that dot and use your pencil to draw a line all the way down so that you know the center point of this end. Make sure to draw your dot. So we need to separate this into 12 pieces. So we're going to do that by separating it first into quarters. So again, you could measure this out, but it might just be easy to kind of eyeball it and see, okay, that's about the halfway point. So I'm going to draw my line all the way out and do the same thing on this side. So now I have my quarters. So I need to separate each of these pieces into 3 separate pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so you should have something that looks a little bit like this. You have 12 equal pieces going all the way around. They don't have to be perfect, but just try to make them as even as possible. Now we're going to decorate. So I have my little paintbrush and I have these paints, and I'm going to go ahead and go around and paint each of these wedges. You can use whatever colors you like. Okay, so as you can see, I've gone all the way around with my paint, so now I'm going to go ahead and grab my marker and I'm going to fill in each wedge with the name of the animal that corresponds to that wedge. So I'm going to go in order and I'm putting it on the screen so that you guys can follow along. I'm also going to encourage you guys to practice writing some of the Chinese symbols that you see as well. Okay, so I finished with that. Now I'm going to add a little bit more detail with my markers. Alright, so this is what mine looks like now. I added a little bit of gold tape all around the edge and just kind of folded it in the back. So I added really specific colors: red, yellow, white, green, and black. This is because Chinese culture attributes a lot of meaning to different colors and the elements that they represent. For the zodiac sign, each animal is associated with one of the 5 elements, otherwise known as the fixed element of that sign. Red is fire, yellow is earth, white is metal, green is wood, and black is water. If you're a rat, your fixed element is water. If you're an ox, you belong to earth. And if you're a tiger, your color is white for the metal element. So once you feel like you've completely finished decorating your fan, we're going to go ahead and add the popsicle sticks. So we're going to flip it over to the back and lay it flat. And you're going to get your sticks and kind of arrange them so that you can see and get a sense of what they're going to look like. So you're going to kind of want to arrange them in a sort of X formation like this. Kind of push it a little bit towards the edge, and if you want to keep them together like this, you can, or you can cross them a little bit. It just depends on how you feel more comfortable holding it. So once you kind of have it placed properly, we're going to go ahead and get our glue. You can also use tape to secure them. We're going to pick this one up and put lots of glue on the end of it. Make sure to use more than you think because we want these to hold on really, really well. And then I'm going to go ahead and place that back down. Kind of fit it to where I want it to be. Press down really, really hard and hold it there for a few seconds. Then do the same with the other side. Okay, now we're going to set this aside to dry completely before we move on to the next step. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, my glue has completely dried, and as you can see, I can pick it up and move it around, and it doesn't feel loose or wobbly. It feels really nice and held together. But the last step that I want to do is, if you have tape, I want you to put a little piece across each of your popsicle sticks, just to make sure that it's really, really held in place and that they're not going to just snap off. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of decorative tape around the handles of the fan. You don't have to do this, you can use markers if you want to decorate it, but it's not necessary. And that's it. This is the finished product. Your fan should look a little something like this. Obviously, you don't have to decorate it like I did. You can use your own designs or patterns and choose whatever colors you like. Feel free to go back in this video and reference some of the animals or Chinese symbols if you want to incorporate those as well. I know you'll all get really creative with it, and I can't wait to see what you make. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you guys watching this video and following along. Again, I hope you're all staying safe, and we can't wait to see you here next week for the next activity. Bye, girls!